Welcome. Tonight, we're not really doing a deep dive. We're actually going to be telling some stories. True stories.
Yeah, first-hand accounts that are, well, they're eerie, unsettling.
The kind that definitely leave you with a chill. And these aren't, made-up campfire tales.
No, these are real things that happen to ordinary people, shared on a platform called Whispered Diaries.
And they all seem to happen during the fall, that time of year when things already feel a little different.
It's strange, isn't it, how autumn, which we think of as cozy, can be the backdrop for stuff like this.
Exactly. So our plan is just to tell these stories, try to capture that suspense, that feeling when something ordinary just goes really wrong. Let's get into these true fall stories.
Okay, so this first one, it takes place late in the fall, getting dark early,
Right. And it's about a 16-year-old kid. His first job, delivering pizzas for a small family-owned place.
And because of school, he often worked the late shifts.
So it's a slow night, around 11 p.m., and an order comes in. Just a small pizza, a soda, simple.
Only an 8-minute drive away. Seems easy enough.
But when he turns onto the street, something feels off. The road itself is terrible, like full of potholes, really deteriorated. But the house he's going to, the yard is perfect, like meticulously cared for. Yep. Flowers, plants, everything looking healthy.
That contrast is, it's immediately kind of weird, isn't it? Like someone's focused entirely inward, ignoring the outside, sets a tone.
And the house itself is old, wooden, 2 stories that's kind of run down, opposite of the yard. He parks, already feeling a bit uneasy.
I can picture it. Isolated spot, maybe woods behind the car.
Yeah, dense woods, right behind where he parked. He walks up the wooden steps to the porch, and they're creaking loudly with each step.
Yeah. Those little details, the sounds, the isolation, they really ramp up the tension in what should be just, normal delivery.
He knocks, and he hears footsteps inside. Soft, slow creaking floorboards coming towards the door.
Okay.
The footsteps stop right on the other side of the door. He waits, pizza in hand. Maybe 10 seconds go by.
But the door doesn't open.
Nothing. Just silence after the footsteps stop.
That's almost creepier than something sudden happening, that waiting.
Yeah. So he starts to back away, thinking maybe he should just leave it. But then he glances back towards the house. Yeah. And he sees him. Standing beside the house, kind of in the shadows off the porch. An old man, really thin, just staring at him.
Oh, wow.
With this really eerie look in his eyes. And it looked like he was starting to walk towards him, towards the porch.
Just silent. No words.
Completely silent. Just watching and moving closer.
Okay, nope. Time to go.
Absolutely. The kid didn't wait. He hurried back to his car, got in, and drove off. The whole time, the old man just stood there watching him leave.
Did he tell anyone back at the shop?
Yeah, he mentioned it. A friend kind of joked it might have been a prank, but the driver said no. The guy seemed way too old for that, and the feeling was just wrong. He just felt lucky he left before that man got any closer.
Makes you wonder what the guy wanted. That perfect garden, but then that behavior. It's unsettling. Oddness isn't always harmless,
Definitely not. Okay, this next story takes us to late September. Constant rain, apparently.
Sets a mood already. Rain always does.
Our narrator here was working as an outdoor security guard at a warehouse complex. But on rainy nights like this, thankfully, they let him stay inside.
Good policy. An empty warehouse in the rain, though, still sounds pretty eerie. You'd hear every little noise.
Exactly. His shift started at 9 p.m. He did his rounds, made sure all the employees were gone, locked everything up. Then he was just standing inside by the main glass entrance doors. Just him in the rain.
Quiet shift.
For hours, yeah. Just rain, maybe some thunder. But then he hears it. A sound echoing through the whole warehouse.
What kind of sound?
He described it as this deep creaking thud, like maybe heavy metal bending or a big rusty door scraping open somewhere inside.
Oh, that's not a normal building sound. That's intentional sounding.
Yeah, it put him right on edge. He tried to ignore it at first, creepy place. Maybe it's nothing, but it's his job.
Right, gotta check it out.
So he starts walking the main hallway, checks some side corridors he doesn't usually go down. He gets to the very last door at the end of one hall. It's cracked open, just slightly ajar.
Okay, so the sound was real. Someone's potentially inside.
Exactly. He said a chill just went right down his spine. He pushes the door open a bit more. The room inside, pitch black.
Oh, man.
He calls out, "Hello!" Just echoes. He's thinking maybe he just shut it, call it in. But then he hears something else.
From inside the dark room.
Yeah. A soft sound.
Yeah.
Like mumbling. Or maybe quiet laughing. a man's voice coming from near some shelving units deep in the darkness.
Mumbling or laughing. The ambiguity is creepy in itself. You don't know the intent.
He calls out again, "Is anyone there? What are you doing in here?"
Any response?
Yeah. The voice says, quiet but clear, "Come here."
Nope, absolutely not.
He asks him to repeat it. Maybe he misheard. The voice says it again, "Come here." A bit louder this time. Still can't see anyone.
That's terrifying, being invited into the dark like that by someone you can't see.
After a few seconds of just standing there, tense, he warns the voice he's close and calling the police.
Smart move.
Which he does. Radios for backup, gets himself out of the building. Police arrive like 5 minutes later, and they check the security footage.
And the footage showed?
It showed a guy, maybe 50-ish, dark jacket. He'd slipped in through a gap in one of the big back garage doors hours earlier.
So he was hiding in there.
He'd made his way to that exact room the guard heard him in. And the really chilling part, the camera caught him holding some kind of knife.
Whoa, okay. Holding a knife changes the whole situation. That wasn't just someone trying to stay out of the rain.
Not at all. The footage showed the guy leaving shortly after the guard had run out and called for help.
But why? Why break in? Why hide? Why call the guard over? And with a knife, that's deeply disturbing. We just don't know his motive.
Nope, total mystery. Understandably, the guard quit that job pretty quickly after that. Said he just couldn't shake the feeling.
I don't blame him. Feeling secure, then finding out you were potentially lured towards someone armed.
Yeah.
That stays with you.
Okay, story number 3. This one moves us to the end of October. You know the time when you might get the first snow?
Right on the edge of winter.
Our narrator lived alone, small 1-bedroom apartment, with his dog, Milo. Quiet building, usually.
Having a dog sometimes makes you feel a bit safer, doesn't it? Their instincts.
Totally. And Milo plays a key part here. So this evening, he gets home from work, around 6:30, walks Milo, makes dinner, chills out playing video games. By midnight, the apartment's dark, he's getting ready for bed.
Just a normal night.
Takes Milo out one last time, just to the little snowy courtyard behind the building.
Okay.
While he's waiting for Milo to do his business, he happens to glance up at his apartment window. Blinds are partly open. He can see the glow from his computer monitor inside.
Uh-huh.
But then, the light changes. Like something that was blocking part of the window moved away.
Oh, that's not good. Like someone is standing right there.
That's exactly what he thought. He gets this cold, sick feeling. Rushes back inside with Milo. He admits he usually didn't lock the door for those super quick dog walks.
A lot of people don't, right? Just popping out for a minute.
He opens the apartment door. At first glance, nothing seems wrong. But the hallway leading to his bedroom is pitch black. Can't even really see the bedroom door at the end.
That familiar space suddenly feeling alien and dark. Creepy.
Then he notices Milo. The dog isn't coming further into the apartment. He's standing right by the entrance, frozen, staring down that dark hallway.
Okay, dog knows something's up.
And Milo starts growling. But it's this low, quiet growl the owner had literally never heard him make before.
That's the confirmation right there. Animal instinct kicking in. Serious warning sign.
He follows Milo's gaze down the hallway, and then he sees it. Just the faintest outline of a person. Standing at the very end of the hall in the complete darkness.
My God.
He could barely make out the shape except for their eyes. Open. Staring straight back at him.
Just the eyes. That's pure nightmare fuel. Disembodied eyes in the dark of your own home.
He didn't even think. Grabbed Milo, turned, ran out of the apartment, out to the front of the building, called 911.
Good reaction. Get out.
Police arrive. They go in, and they find a man hiding in the bedroom. Middle-aged guy, looked kind of sickly.
Did he say why he was there?
Refused to say a word. Just silent.
The silence is almost worse sometimes. No explanation, just violation.
But here's the kicker, the really chilling part. That door, it was only unlocked for maybe a couple of minutes when he took Milo out earlier, and then again just now.
So
this guy could have slipped in during that first brief window. He could have been inside the apartment silently for up to 6 hours.
6 hours, just waiting.
Yeah.
Doing what? That is profoundly disturbing. What was he planning? Chilling.
Yeah. Makes your skin crawl thinking about it. All right, let's shift gears slightly. Story 4 takes us camping.
Okay, out in nature, different kind of vulnerability.
Middle of fall, rural Washington. Our narrator and his friend Chase found this remote campsite using some app. First day, totally fine. Just a bit cold at night.
Standard camping stuff. Sets up the contrast for what's coming.
Day 2, though. They go for a hike, maybe 3 hours or so, see an overlook. When they get back to their campsite...
Let me guess, not alone.
Not alone. There's a man standing near Chase's tent, just looking at it.
Just looking. Weird.
They call out to him like, hey! And the guy looks startled, turns, and just walks away quickly into the trees. Nope. Hello. No explanation.
Suspicious. Did they check the tent? Anything missing?
They checked. Nothing seemed touched or taken, but it definitely put them on edge.
Yeah, finding someone just observing your camp like that is unsettling. Feels like scouting.
Later that evening, they've got a campfire going. Chase needs to go off into the woods for a minute,
Nature calls.
He comes back, really fast. Pale. Says he was doing his business and saw the outline of a man standing among the trees, watching him.
Okay, so definitely being watched now. Not a coincidence. Probably the same guy.
That's what they figured. They grab flashlights, sweep the tree line, call out. Nothing. Whoever it was gone.
But the feeling remains. That unease turns into actual fear now.
Big time. They start debating whether to pack up and leave right then, even though it's pitch black outside.
Tough call. Hiking out in the dark in unfamiliar woods isn't ideal either.
But they decide the fear outweighs the risk of the dark trail. They pack up everything as fast as they can, tents, sleeping bags, the works. Start heading down the trail back to the car.
Probably feeling watched the whole way.
No doubt. They finally get back to the trailhead where the car is parked.
Please don't say the car's damaged.
All 4 tires. Slashed.
Oh, no. Okay, that confirms it. Malicious intent. This wasn't just some random creaky guy. This was planned. They wanted them stuck there.
Exactly. And just as they're standing there, taking this in, shocked, they hear leaves crunching on the trail right behind them. Someone's coming.
Get in the car.
Didn't hesitate. Jumped in, slammed the doors, and just drove. On the flat tires, bumping along.
Wow. Driving on flats, but they got away. That crunching sound, whoever it was closing in. Terrifying near miss.
They eventually limped to the main road, got cell service, called a tow truck, and the police.
Any leads? Fingerprints? Anything?
Police checked the car, but nothing. No prints, no sign of the guy, his actual intentions. Still unknown, but you can only imagine they weren't good.
That feeling of isolation and then realizing someone hostile has trapped you there, pure terror, really highlights the vulnerability out there.
Okay, 5th story. This one happens the day after Halloween.
Ah, the spooky season hangover.
Our narrator had the day off work, apparently took a long nap in the afternoon, woke up kind of groggy.
Disorienting to wake up late like that sometimes.
It's 9 p.m. when he wakes up because his doorbell is ringing. He goes to the door, looks through the people, nobody there.
Ding-dong ditch, maybe.
Yeah.
Or...
He opens the door just in case and sees someone standing maybe 20 yards away by a tree at the edge of his property wearing a generic plastic Halloween mask.
Okay, weird for the day after Halloween, but maybe just a leftover prankster.
That's what he figured. Just staring at the house, he dismisses it, closes the door.
But it probably felt a bit off.
A little later, he hears muffled voices from outside, towards the back of his house this time. He looks out a back window.
And sees
someone walking in his backyard, kind of hugging the shadows, trying to stay out of the porch light's reach.
Okay, that's definitely not a prank. That's trespassing and suspicious behavior.
This person walks along the side of the house, out of sight for a moment. He glances back towards his back door and freezes.
Why? What's at the door?
Someone else. Standing right there, looking in the back door window. Wearing the same type of mask as the first guy, but this figure looks bigger, taller. Just staring inside.
2 of them. Coordinated. Oh, this is bad.
He yells something like, "Hey, get out of here."
Did they react?
The figure at the door moved away, and it sounded like they both went around to the other side of the house, the side he couldn't see easily.
They're casing the place, looking for a way in.
Then he hears it. A sharp crack sound, followed immediately by the sound of footsteps sprinting away.
Trying to break a window or door?
He checks around and finds a window on that side of the house. The wooden seal around the pane is splintered. Clear sign someone tried to pry it open or force it.
Wow. Attempted break-in. This went from creepy prank to serious threat real fast.
He runs upstairs, calls 911. Police come, take a report, look around, but the masked people are long gone.
And no leads, I assume.
Nothing. He says now, with Halloween coming up again each year, he gets incredibly anxious.
I can only imagine being targeted like that in your own home by masked figures. That feeling of violation and fear would definitely linger.
All right, story number 6. This one also involves Halloween night itself. Happened about 4 years ago.
Halloween seems to bring out the weirdness, doesn't it?
It really does. Our narrator was working the night shift at a gas station. Couldn't go to his friend's party. Stuck at work.
Bummer. Gas stations late at night can feel kind of isolated too.
Especially on Halloween. He said it was a pretty slow night, not many customers. But he did notice police cars cruising by more often than usual.
Oh. Any reason why?
Yeah, he found out later there had been reports earlier in the evening about some men in costumes trying to lure kids away, offering candy.
Oh, that's disturbing. Sets a tense backdrop for his shift.
Definitely. So around 10 p.m., the bell chimes. 3 adults walk in, all wearing full Halloween costumes.
What kind of costumes?
One was Michael Myers. The other 2 were also masked, maybe generic monster types, he wasn't sure. But they didn't say anything to him when they came in, just silent.
Silence again. And given the earlier reports, that's immediately unnerving.
They walk over to the candy aisle, grab a bag of dum-dum lollipops, come to the counter.
Just lollipops.
Yeah. Paid in cash. Still silent. But one of the guys, even through the mask, the narrator said he was just staring intensely at him, like with real anger or frustration in his eyes.
That intense stare. That's psychological intimidation. Something's definitely wrong here.
As they turn like they're going to leave, one of them suddenly reaches over and bolts the front door lock.
Trapped him in. Okay, this is it. It's not about the candy.
Oop. Then the one who was staring shoves the employee hard, knocks him to the ground behind the counter.
Oh, God.
They weren't robbing the place. They pulled out zip ties, tied his hands behind his back.
They're abducting him from the gas station.
They started dragging him through the store, towards the side door, heading outside.
This is terrifying, especially thinking about those earlier reports about kids.
As they get him outside, around the side of the building where he sees an old car, parked weirdly like on the grass. Headlights sweep into the parking lot.
Police. Please be police.
A police car pulls in. The men instantly drop the employee right there on the ground, turn, and run for their car.
Did they get away?
No, the police were right there, apprehended them quickly.
Thank God for that patrol car showing up right then. Incredible timing. Saved him.
Saved him from... What? That's the thing. The police confirmed these were the guys connected to the earlier reports about trying to lure children.
But they never said what they planned to do, with the kids or with the employee.
Never confessed. Their motives, their ultimate plan, completely unknown. Just left hanging there.
Chilling. It's a stark reminder that real monsters can wear masks, especially on Halloween. The randomness of targeting him, the connection to the kids, horrifying.
Let's move away from Halloween, but stay in the late fall. Story 7. An RV trip.
RVs offer freedom, but also isolation. Depends where you are.
This was very isolated. Our narrator was driving up to Alaska to visit grandparents, going through those long stretches of remote highway in Canada. Very few towns or services.
Yeah, I know those roads. You can drive for hours and see nothing. Definitely need to be self-reliant.
Second day of driving, it's getting late, around 8 p.m. He pulls off the main highway onto a little dirt side road, finds a small clearing between some trees to park the RV for the night.
Makes sense. Quieter than a truck stop, maybe.
He settles in. Not long after stopping, maybe half an hour, he hears footsteps outside, near the RV.
Out there in the pitch black woods?
Yeah. He looks out, but can't see a thing. It's completely dark. He listens, the footsteps fade, tries to brush it off.
Hard to brush off, though. That sound of someone unseen nearby always gets the heart rate up.
He eventually falls asleep, but wakes up around 2 a.m. to knocking. 3 loud, distinct knocks on the RV door.
Oh, man. Middle of the night out there. That's never good.
A man's voice, deep, calls out. Says his truck broke down a couple miles back on the main road. Asks if he can spare some water.
The classic broken down story always makes you suspicious, especially at 2 a.m. in the middle of nowhere.
The narrator felt it too. Something just felt wrong. He didn't answer. Instead, he very quietly moved to a window to peek out.
What did he see?
He saw the man who knocked, standing very close to the door, but then, behind him, further back in the darkness, he saw movement. Other figures.
How many? He
said he could make out at least 4 or 5 other shapes moving in the shadows behind the first guy.
Whoa. Okay, so definitely not just one guy needing water. This is a setup.
That's what he realized. The man at the door knocks again, louder this time, impatient.
What did the narrator do?
He didn't make a sound answering. He quietly slid into the driver's seat, turned the key, started the RV engine.
Smart. Just get out of there.
As he pulls away, the headlights sweep across the clearing, and he sees them clearly for a second. Multiple men, yeah. Maybe 30s, 40s, scruffy-looking ragged clothes. And they started yelling as he drove past them down the dirt road.
Yelling in anger, probably, that their trap failed. That is terrifying. What if he had opened the door?
Exactly. He drove straight to the next town with a gas station, hours away probably, got cell service, called the police.
But by then, the men would be long gone, right?
Way too late. Police took a report, but there was nothing they could do. What those men wanted, why they were out there targeting vehicles. Another disturbing mystery.
Really underscores the danger of that kind of isolation and trusting your gut feeling. His instincts saved him there.
Absolutely. Okay, story number 8. Mid-November now. Winter's definitely arrived.
Cold, dark nights.
Our narrator lived alone, small 2-bedroom house, at an unfinished basement.
Basements, always a bit creepy, especially unfinished ones. Dark corners, weird noises.
This particular night, it was snowing heavily outside. He got home from work around 7 p.m., just relaxing on the couch later in the evening. Around 10 p.m., he's walking down the hallway towards the bathroom maybe, and he hears it.
What's he hear?
Sounds coming from the basement, like something moving around down there.
Not just the house settling.
That's what he hoped at first. He goes to the basement door, opens it, flips on the light at the top of the stairs, looks down, sees nothing, listens, hears nothing.
So maybe it was just the house or the wind?
He tries to convince himself of that, goes back upstairs. But a little while later, he hears it again. More distinct this time. Thumping sounds, like footsteps, someone walking around in the basement.
Okay, footsteps are harder to dismiss,
Yeah.
especially if it's repetitive.
He goes back to the basement door, opens it again. The wind is howling outside now, making it hard to hear anything subtle. He goes down a few steps, peers into the dim light.
See anything this time?
Not immediately, but then his eyes adjust to the dusty concrete floor. And he sees them.
Sees what?
Footprints, shoe prints, fresh ones in the dust, leading from the darkness at the far end of the basement, only to the bottom of the stairs, and stopping.
Stopping right there, like someone walked to the stairs, looked up and vanished, or is still hiding.
Oh,
That's chilling.
he said he was absolutely terrified. The prints proved someone was down there, or had been very recently. He turns, runs back up the stairs, grabs his phone to call 911.
Good, get help.
As he's on the phone with the operator, telling them what's happening, he hears 2 very loud thuds from the basement, like something heavy falling or hitting the ceiling.
Oh, God. While he's on the phone, that's like something out of a movie.
He didn't wait to find out what it was, kept talking to 911, but ran, bolted out the front door into the snow,
Yeah.
waited for the police outside.
Smartest move. Don't confront whatever that was. Did the police find anyone?
They searched the whole house, top to bottom, found the footprints just as he described. But no person, no sign of forced entry anywhere. Windows, doors, all secure.
How is that possible? How did someone get in and out? And what were those loud thuds?
Total mystery. He was so unnerved he booked a hotel for 2 nights. Couldn't stand the thought of staying there, not knowing who or what had been in his basement and how.
That sense of violation, the complete lack of explanation, incredibly unsettling. Your home is supposed to be safe.
Okay, we have 2 more stories. This next one, number 9, goes back to Halloween night again, 2014.
Halloween seems to be a recurring theme for these unsettling encounters.
It does. Our narrator was younger here, 6th grade, trick-or-treating with 3 buddies, Johnny, Colton, and Wes. And it was their first year going out without any parents tagging along.
Ah, that's their taste of Halloween freedom. Big deal for a kid. Makes him feel grown up.
Totally. They hit Colton's neighborhood first, got a decent haul of candy, pretty standard stuff. Then around 8 p.m., they decided to try a different neighborhood nearby.
How is this one different?
Darker streets, fewer street lights. The houses were bigger, spaced further apart, more isolated feeling.
Setting the scene for something spooky.
They work their way down 1 block, get to the last house. It looked older than the others, kind of set back from the road, more secluded. They ring the doorbell. Wait a bit. Nobody comes.
Okay, happens sometimes. On to the next house.
They start to walk away, back towards the street. Then a man suddenly appears from the side of the house, near the garage. Older guy, maybe 50-ish, big smile on his face.
Where did he come from? Didn't answer the door.
Exactly. He calls out to them, still smiling, says something like, "Hey kids, wait up. I didn't hear the bell. Let me run to the store and get you some really good candy."
Run to the store? Now, that's weird. And they didn't see a car or anything.
No car in the driveway. The whole offer felt off to them. They just mumbled, "No thanks," and kept walking away. As they looked back, they saw the man's big smile had faded. He just looked blank, which creeped them out even more.
Good instincts from those kids. That smile fading is a red flag. Something wasn't genuine there.
They keep walking, heading down this dark street lined with woods, trying to get back to the main road. But halfway down,
Oh no, don't say he shows up again.
the same man steps out from between the trees onto the side of the road ahead of him.
Yeah.
That creepy smile is back on his face. And he starts waving at them.
Following them through the woods. Okay, this is predatory behavior now, not just weird.
The boys freeze for a second. Then the man lunges towards Colton, the one closest to him.
He attacked them.
He lunged, but Colton dodged, and all four of them just took off. Sprinting as fast as they could down the street, didn't look back.
Thank God he missed. That's terrifying for 6th graders.
But it wasn't quite over. They get back towards Colton's neighborhood. Streets are better lit, more houses, feeling a bit safer.
What now?
An old beat-up gray sedan with tinted windows starts driving past them, slowly. Then it circles the block, comes past them again, even slower, circles again. 3 times it passed them, slowing down each time, the driver invisible behind the tent.
Stalking them in a car now. Was it the same guy or someone else? Unbelievable.
They didn't know. They just ran the rest of the way straight back to Colton's house, completely freaked out.
Did they tell Colton's parents? Any adults?
He says looking back, they foolishly didn't tell anyone. They were probably scared or didn't know how to explain it, just kept it to themselves.
Understandable for kids, but dangerous. They never saw the man or the car again.
Never saw either again.
Yeah.
But the question of what that man intended when he lunged and who was in that car still haunts him.
A really disturbing reminder that predators can target anyone, anywhere, even during something as innocent as trick-or-treating, and how vulnerable kids can feel.
Okay, our final story. Number 10. Another isolated setting.
Seems to be a theme. Isolation amplifies fear.
This narrator decided to take a solo fall weekend getaway. Rented a very basic cabin at a quiet, kind of remote campground about an hour out of the city. Just wanted some peace and quiet.
Sounds nice, actually. Enjoying the fall weather.
First day was great. Hiked the trails, enjoyed the solitude. Second day, she's sitting outside the cabin in the afternoon reading or something.
Relaxing.
Then she notices something out of the corner of her eye. Looks up. About 150 yards away, standing partially hidden between some trees. There's a person.
Just standing there.
Completely still. Just standing there. And seemingly looking directly at her cabin.
That's unsettling, just being watched like that from a distance.
Yeah, creeped her out immediately. She watched for a bit, the person didn't move. As sunset approached, she felt uneasy enough to just go inside and lock the door.
Probably hoping it was just another hiker who stopped for a weirdly long time.
Maybe. But the feeling lingered. That night, the wind picked up. Really strong, howling wind all night long.
Which makes it harder to hear other sounds, right? Can make you jumpy.
Exactly. Made her more nervous, thinking about the person she saw earlier. Then, around 9 p.m., over the howl of the wind, a sudden knock at the front door.
Nope. Not expecting anyone. Out there alone, that's terrifying.
Startled her badly. She stayed quiet, hoping they'd go away, but the knocking continued. Then it stopped being knocking and turned into forceful hits on the door, like someone was getting angry trying to get in.
Okay, definitely not friendly. Someone wants in badly.
After maybe 30 seconds of this pounding, it just stopped. Silence again, except for the wind.
What'd she do? That silence is almost worse.
She waited a minute, heart pounding. Then she very cautiously crept to the door and looked through the peephole.
See any?
No one directly in front of the door. The little porch area was empty. She felt maybe a tiny bit of relief and started to turn away from the door. But as she turned, she glanced towards one of the cabin's old, maybe slightly warped windows near the door and saw them.
Saw what?
A pair of eyes, staring right at her through the window glass. Just eyes, visible in the dim light filtering from inside.
Oh my God. They were right there, just waiting for her to look away from the peephole, watching her through the window.
Seems like it. As soon as she made eye contact, the head moved quickly out of sight.
What does she do? Run. Hide.
She was too afraid to even try to get to her car. She grabbed her phone, called the police, told them someone was outside her cabin, had tried the door, and was looking in her windows. Stayed on the line until they arrived.
Did the police find anyone this time?
By the time they got there, no. Searched the area around the cabin, the nearby woods, found no sign of anyone.
But she saw them. The watcher, the knocking, the eyes at the window, it was real.
Absolutely. She packed up immediately, police escorting her basically, and left. Said she never went back to that cabin or that campground again.
I wouldn't either. That feeling of being watched, then actively besieged, alone in an isolated place. Terrifying.
So those are the stories for tonight. They're all different places, different situations.
But there's that common thread, isn't there? That sense of deep unease, of vulnerability, how quickly normal life can just tilt into something frightening.
Right, in your home, at your job, out camping, places you should feel relatively safe. And often it's the unknown that's the worst part.
Exactly. So many unanswered questions in these accounts. What did the person really want? Who were they? What would have happened next if things had gone differently? That lack of resolution is what makes them stick with you, I think.
It really does. As you were listening, think about how these stories made you feel. What is it about them that gets under your skin?
Maybe it's that reminder that sometimes there's a darkness just lurking at the edges, things we don't understand.
And maybe a reminder to trust that feeling, that instinct when something seems off.
Definitely. Pay attention to that little voice. It's often right.
Well, thank you for listening along with us to these unsettling fall encounters.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Farewell.
And if you found these true stories intriguing or just appreciate a good scare, please do like this, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and subscribe to the Horror Docs channel for more tales from the shadows.